Hello everyone, this is Mike Yurigan at the Golf Brevard. We're at the Habitat today, and Spencer Holland is open. We're aerifying here and verticutting, doing a lot to the golf course the next 2 days. So I thought I'd give you a little update on, I've had a bunch of questions regarding why are we aerifying so many times, or what's the process behind it all. And I think a little bit on the last one or two, I talked a little bit briefly about it, but just to refresh everybody's memory a little bit, as we go into the summer months, as soon as May 1st hits, that's kind of open season for all the golf courses in the southeast to start aerifying. Obviously, we want to try to stay away from the holiday weekends and the Mondays and everything on the holidays. So we try to plan our aerification dates around all that on the calendar and the schedules. So some guys that played the other day were asking, well, why do you aerify the greens so quickly after the last time we did it? So I think it was May 15th and 16th we did it, and then we did our chip code choice application that Wednesday, the 17th, for the mole crickets. And as soon as we do that, it's like a light bulb goes off in the ground, in the grass. And as soon as we open up and we get all the compaction out and we fertilize and we spray the chemicals for the mole crickets or whatever we're doing, it's just open season for the grass to take off. Now, when we started in that middle of the May period, and then we went to Spencer at the end of May, we were pretty dry still. And then all of a sudden now, as you all know, in the last couple of weeks, we've had that crazy front that's been up north of us, bringing in all that moisture into the Gulf and then swinging it down to us. We've been very fortunate. Last night, I lived down in Vero, and we had almost 2.5 inches of rain down there, and we barely had a trace here. So we were very lucky. We could have been flooded out this morning and not even been able to aerify or do anything. So let's get back to why we do it so many times, or how many times we actually do it. We try to do 3 applications of the greens based on conditions, again, dry conditions, wet, all the different things. So when we pick that 6-week period, usually between in the summer, as soon as that grass gets opened up, and it's like getting a shot of penicillin. The grass takes off, and then what happens, we get the rains that we haven't had the last 3 years. The growth increases dramatically. So if we go into the winter months, if we go into October, November, and December, and we haven't aerified at least 2 times, let's say we don't get an aerification at the end of August or 1st of September, and we go in and we've got hurricanes and we've got all this rain, what happens during the summer, the rain comes down, the grass goes crazy, it grows. I mean, it's hard to even, I know I'm exaggerating here and being a little ridiculous with this, but if we don't do that, as you know, when we first took over, the greens were very spongy. And what happens, the aerification schedule doesn't stay on track. What happens is you get the rain pelts down, let's say we get 2 inches, any of that dirt or moisture that's underneath the grass layer, the topography of the grass, or that top layer, the water will sit there and it won't perk. So we aerify to perk the water. We aerify to get the soil amendments into the ground, the sand, the fertilizer, whatever we're doing. And then it's like a shot of penicillin. It just starts taking off. So if we don't stay on that schedule, we'll get into that September period, and everybody will be coming to me going, well, why are the greens terrible? Why are they soft and spongy? The ball's not holding. I'm walking on it. We can't get the green speed up. So all those things that I just talked about are why we do it. Now, let's say we go into a spread where we have a really dry time in the next 3 months. We'll be very, very careful about when we aerify again, because in the summer, the roots actually in the champions grass we have here at Habitat have a tendency, or do, grow side to side. And then what happens, the roots start growing and coming up. Everybody thinks, well, it's hot and everything. Well, in the summertime, you can get best of both worlds. You can get a real shallow root structure, or we can get really deep. Now right now we're very deep and we have to do it. So if we got into a condition where we couldn't aerify, maybe we'll pencil tine. And the next day you'll never know we even did it, and we might lightly top dress. So when we get the TIF Eagle over at Spencer Holland, we'll end up with kind of the same schedule. 3 times is kind of the max that I'll do it. And Jamie and Dana, I've talked about it. And then if we have to pencil tine during the winter times because it's warm, or whatever the conditions are. So it's Mother Nature, it's necessary. We want the grass, we want new stolons, we want that grass to compete. We want it to choke out the weeds. Again, you know, look, if my father was still here and alive, he could do a lot better dissertation on this than I could. I don't have a degree in agronomy, but I've done it for a long time. And it's weather conditions and what do we want 9 months out of the year relative to the summer months where it's hot and the grass is growing like crazy. So I hope that helps a little bit. We are verticutting tee boxes and fairways today also. And again, that's to get that thatch layer when we get the rain and the dry conditions, and then all of a sudden it rains and we got all this growth, that top layer gets extremely firm. And then when you're walking over it, and we see, you know, right now we're great dry because the percolation is great because of what we did 6 weeks ago. So we don't want to lose that. Every time you lose 6 weeks or you lose a month or spraying or anything you lose during the season puts you another 4, 5, 6 months behind. And we're not going to do that. We want the quality of the golf course to be there for you, to enjoy it. The guys that come out and the ladies that play in the mornings, you know, we try to get the golf course ready by 6:30 here at Habitat and 7 at Spencer. And again, you know, we've got a few more staff now that we can do a few more things, irrigation, all that things. I know I'm rambling on here with all this stuff, but I just really wanted you to really understand, if you didn't understand, why we do that. So I figured I'd give a little tip today. I got all these clubs out here, and I had one of my students just get a whole new set, and we tailored the set around his tendencies. And what we did is that most of you, a lot of times, will have a 3-wood in your bag that's 15 degrees of loft, and that 15 degrees of loft is not going to allow you to hit the ball very high. Now, some of the newer clubs, if you look at it, this is a Heavenwood from Callaway. It's a 4-wood shaft length with a 20-degree head. Then you go into a typical 5-wood, which I actually put in my bag. I took the hybrid out. It's 18 degrees. So now you got a 4-wood that's a little longer shaft length, 20 degrees aloft, which helps you elevate the golf ball better, but you get the distance because of the longer shaft. So one of the guys asked me the other day, you know, I got a couple of hybrids that were in the, I think it was a 6 and an 8 hybrid, and didn't realize the amount of loft that was on the golf club. So this is a 24-degree hybrid, which, again, easier to get in the air, but you see you're not going to hit it, which is close to the Heavenwood. It's 20 degrees. That's 24. It's only 4 degrees difference. That's the difference between one iron from another. You lose the length on the shaft. Maybe you control this better. Maybe you like to hit the hybrid better. Then you go to a 18-degree hybrid, which is more of a 2-3 hybrid, which is only 1 degree difference from the 5-wood. So now you've got all these combinations, and everybody goes, well, what should I use? Well, let's figure out if you like the hybrid, you hit it well, you need the distance and the height. Let's go to a little longer shaft with a little bit more loft, and then all of a sudden you'll realize that 3-wood in your bag might not be necessary. So what we did for Mel and his club, we went with the high launch 3-wood, which is around 16 degrees, 16 degrees, and then we put a 7-wood in his bag that was 21 degrees. So now he's got his driver, he's got the longer fairway wood with a little more loft, easy to get the ball in the air, lands soft on the par 5s and the long par 4s for him. He can hit it off the short par 4s, like number 6 here or number 2. Don't need the driver. So just thought I would kind of, I hope I didn't confuse you all with that, but the differences, the major difference is that when you get a longer shaft in your hand and it's got, you're going to get the distance out of it, but then the loft is too low and you can't get the ball in the air, you go, oh, I don't like this club. Try with more loft. Try the 7-wood, heaven-wood, 4-wood. Try the hybrids. Come out, we've got plenty of demos that you can try. And then put in your bag the clubs you need. Now, look, when I was in sales and running the retail golf shop for 5 years, the ladies would come in and they would go, oh, all my girlfriends have a 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 wood. Because they didn't like the long irons. So the 13 wood was like a 6 or 5 iron. And sometimes even to a 6 iron, 7 iron. But they all thought they had to have those golf clubs. Well, they were right. They were much easier to hit than the short irons. Easier to get the ball in the air for them. They could get more distance. So, you know, at times we were selling as many fairway woods as we were sets of irons, just because of that fact. It was so much easier to do. So let's get a couple woods in your bag, a driver. Let's get maybe one hybrid in the irons, a couple more wedges that you can score, and a putter that obviously you can use that'll make everything different. You saw Keegan Bradley this weekend. You know, he kind of ran out of gas coming down the stretch yesterday, still won by 3 shots. You know, he was 26 under at one time. I think he might have been made it to 27 under yesterday. That's a lot of good golf going on, and it was great to see him win again. So if you have any questions, golf course related, clubs related, golf ball related, anything, come see us, and we're happy to help on anything we can do. And I hope you come and see us. We have our special, the 1991 special here for about a week after the Aerification. But if we have the success we had the last time, the guys and the gals were telling me that the greens were even great when they were saying it. So hopefully you come out, support us for the rest of the summer, and we'll be doing this again. Sorry to be a little long-winded today, but I thought it would be helpful to all of us and everyone. And so come and see us soon. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.